Hello, I'm Bryan Painter, staff writer of the Oklahoman, and today we're joined by Jim Reese, the State Secretary of Agriculture, and we're going to talk about the drought situation and its impact on Oklahoma agriculture. Thank you so much for coming in.
It's my pleasure to be here.
From your perspective, please provide an overview of the situation that farmers and ranchers, ag producers are facing in this drought.
Well, what we're facing right now is just the extreme heat and the drought, of course, but it mostly has affected the summer crops and the vegetable crops and then the milo, the corn, soybeans, and the cotton, because they grow in the heat of the summer, and versus the wheat and the canola, which actually went through the winter with some rain and some spring rains. So those crops were actually pretty good, and the prices were, the wheat was near a record crop and good prices. But then the summer crops have hit in, and they've run into the extreme heat.
You know, we're talking about drought, and that would be serious in itself, but we're talking about drought upon drought. We're talking about 2 years. What kind of challenges does that bring?
Well, the second year, you know, obviously, I think last year lowered all of our commodity stocks, lowered our cattle herds. We sold off a lot of our cattle. So we were hoping to build back. We were hoping to take advantage of those higher prices. And then this second drought happens, and so you don't get to take advantage of the higher prices, and you don't get to build your herd back, which, you know, eventually, not just Oklahomans, but America needs to build back their cattle herd. And these times are just continuing to hurt that. And, you know, whether that doesn't always show up in the marketplace, in the food market immediately, but 2 years of a drought, there is going to be an impact.
You know, we'll just take that question and go into one last one about this is an issue for producers, and it makes them face some really hard questions, some tough questions, but this is an issue for Oklahoma as a whole when agriculture goes through this. Can you explain why that is?
Well, it does affect our just the state's economy, the state's revenue. 1 out of 9 export dollars comes from an agricultural product. So if we're losing those agricultural products that are exported overseas, outside our state borders, and bring revenue back to the state, I mean, that affects the whole economy. That affects our state revenues. It affects our auxiliary businesses that you know, last year we didn't have any crop. So we had all that infrastructure that didn't have any crop to store. Well, this year we had wheat, we had canola, and but we still don't have cotton. We still have a really low corn crop, and soybeans are still trying to produce, and they're having a very difficult time. So, and then you have to feed your livestock, and without all of that feed grain, it just makes it difficult and more expensive.
All right. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks.